Hi, this is Brian with ActiveMelody.com. Well, this week we're back to playing over a jam track, and I've got a really fun jam track to play over. It's very slow and soulful, and we're going to be looking at dynamics and touching on chord tones. How do you make your leads sound more sophisticated? And, all of that stuff. We're going to be covering this. I'll break down everything that I played note for note, but I'm going to show you where all those notes come from so that it all makes sense. So you're not just memorizing something, you're actually taking something that you can use in your own playing. So I've got the lesson split into two parts. In this video we'll take a look at the first half. If you'd like to watch the second half and access the tablature, on-screen tab viewer, get the jam tracks, all of that extra material, you can get those things by going to ActiveMelody.com, go to the weekly lessons page and do a search for EP379. Alright, so we're back to playing over a jam track this week, and I realize it's been a while since I've done a lesson in this style. We've been doing a lot of acoustic stuff lately, a lot of solo guitar compositions, and those are fun to play, but it's a whole different dynamic than when you're playing on top of a jam track, and you can be, I think, more expressive and definitely work on nuance and subtleties and things that you can't do when you're trying to do everything by yourself. So it's good to have both of those skills, and it's a lot of fun to just jam with other musicians. So that's what this lesson is really designed to do, is to give you ideas. You'll be able to play everything that I played in the intro. We're going to break it down. You'll find that it's not that hard to play, but then you're going to understand where it all comes from. So let's talk through the chords here. We're playing this in the key of A minor. So it starts with an A minor chord, and then it goes to an F7. Kind of an odd chord pairing, and I don't know why I chose the F7 other than I just like the sound of it. But I was messing around with it. A minor, an F, a G, and a C. And that's what I mean, basic chords, right? But I found that if I went from the A minor to the F7 instead of the F, just the straight up F, it sounded much more spooky, and I liked that vibe. And I played off of that in the solo, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So those are your first two chords. We go back and forth between the A minor, F7. We go back to the A minor, then we go to a G, which is the 5 chord of the C. So 5 to the 1 of the C there. And then we go to get back to the A minor. I found that what would be the 5 of the A minor? Well, it would be an E. So I played an E or E7, and then we're back to the A minor. It's a nice little pull to get you back. And that's the cycle that we go through here. And this song is played in 6/8 times. So if we were counting that, we'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of slow blues are in 6/8. It's a great time signature for that kind of stuff. And when I come in, the first note that I play is, we're up here on the 10th fret, 2nd string, and I slide into that. But I don't come in right on the 1. So I count, if you were counting in, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be like on the 4 if we were counting it out. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. That's where you might think that you come in right on the 1, but you don't. So remember, you come in, wait a little bit, and come in on the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and so it would be pattern 2 of the minor pentatonic scale for A. So most of what we're going to be playing is A minor pentatonic scale, right? So there's pattern 1 off of that chord shape, right? And then we come up here for pattern 2. And I slide in to that 10th fret, 2nd string, and then I went just to kind of end the phrase there. So that comes down to the 8th fret, 2nd string, and then the 9th fret, 3rd string. Okay, so this is kind of a call and response thing. That would be sort of a call, and then I wait, and then I go, and that would be the response. That's kind of how I think of it. So the response then, I go down to pattern 1 of that minor pentatonic for A. So that's a little box here between the 7th fret and the 5th fret on the 3rd string, and then we go down to the 4th string. So that would be 7th fret, 3rd string, bend, play it without the bend, 5th fret, 7th fret, 4th string. And then I come back to the 5th fret, 3rd string. And when I play that, I give it some very harsh vibrato. Meaning, when I hit it, these are the little subtle things that make your playing. I'm telling you, you could glaze past this and not put a lot of emphasis in it. But just pay attention to things like this. I'm not saying that you're gonna want that kind of vibrato. That's totally a style thing. But if you're trying to get the vibe, hear how I'm pushing that sharp when I'm giving it the vibrato? And I'm just giving it a little extra push. All right, so let's put on a slow version of the jam track. I want you to hear this in context with the backing track. You can hear when you come in and then what we've learned so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so the next part goes like this. And what I'm playing there, I'm still in that little box between the 5th fret and the 7th fret. We're still in pattern 1, minor pentatonic scale for A. And by the way, I'm not worried about the chord changes. I'm not trying to play something over the F or any of that, at least so far. I'm just trying to stay in the key of the song, which would be A minor. So we're gonna go 4th string, 5th fret, 7th fret, and then 3rd string, 5th fret, 7th fret. And then you do a half bend on that 7th fret. That's important. Don't do a full bend. You're just trying to go up 1 fret there. And then you come back to the 7th fret without the bend. Then down to the 5th fret. So we have... Now why did I do that half bend there? Because that's where the song, the chord, happens to be that F7. And if you look at the notes in the F7, there's that note, right? I bent into that note. Now, I did not sit down and plan that out. My brain was not calculating that in real time or anything. I just heard it. And so a lot of this comes over time, over playing. I knew that if I did a half bend there, it would match perfectly with that F7 chord. I could hear that 7 in the chord, and you'll get there. Okay. And then we're going to come back to pattern 2. 5th fret, 7th fret, slide up to the 9th fret on the 3rd string. And then I've got the 10th fret, 2nd string. And then after that is where the song goes to the G chord. And I went... Now all I'm doing for that is I'm continuing the top part of the A minor pentatonic scale pattern 2. So there'll be 8th fret, 10th fret on the 1st string. And then I walk into this G arpeggio to trace the notes of that G chord. And I knew the next chord was a G chord, so I was already in position up here. And I started thinking about, where is my next G chord? Where's another G chord located? I knew I had one right here, using that D chord shape. This is why caged is so important, because now I can target any of those notes and it's going to sound really good over that G chord. So I went... And what I'm doing there, I'm just playing the notes out of that chord. So I slid into it. That would be sliding up to the 8th or 7th fret 1st string, 8th fret 2nd string, 7th fret 3rd string, slide down to the 5th fret 3rd string. I'll tell you why in a minute. Down to the 4th fret, and then 5th fret 4th string. So all together it's... Now when I came down here, I could see the G chord here. So I just wanted to touch on this note and this note because they're in the chord, right? So that's why it's so important to be able to visualize those chords, because I could picture all of those notes and they're going to sound great over that G. So it sounds much more sophisticated than had I just stayed in the A pentatonics. I could have done that and that would have worked. But it sounds better, I think, to touch on those chord tones. Okay, so after the G, it goes to a C, and I went... And what's nice is, when you have a C chord and an A minor chord, they are both using the same scale when you're playing the pentatonics. And C is the relative major chord of A minor, and A minor is the relative minor chord of C. So when the song goes to the C, I just was staying in that A minor pentatonic position because I'm technically now playing in C major pentatonic. Hopefully you get that. We're going to do a hammer on between the 5th fret and the 7th fret 4th string, 5th fret 3rd string, and we're going to slide up to pattern 2, like where we've already been, sliding up to the 9th fret 3rd string, 8th fret 2nd string, back to the 9th fret. And then the song goes to the E, and I went... Right? You can hear that. Hear how all I did was change one note. There's what I'm playing over the C. And by the way, that would be 2 notes in the C chord here, if you think of your C major bar chord. So if you're just thinking chord shapes, I'm just playing the C triad. Now I'm going to play the E triad where it goes to the E, right? And then I switched it up and I played strings 2 and 3 on the 9th fret there. Why is that working? Well, there's your E chord using the A shape out of Caged. And then as the song goes back to the A minor, I went and did the hammer-on between the 9th fret and the 10th fret on the 2nd string. And that gets us back into that A minor. And I'm just staying in that pattern 2 of the minor pentatonic scale for A. Let me play the slow jam track, and then we'll play everything up to this point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so the song has now gone through the cycle. Now we're just going to loop through it again. We're going to play the A minor to the F, A minor, F. And so that means we can just jam in the A minor pentatonics. And that's really all I did the first time. We're going to do the same thing here. So what I did from this note here, the 10th fret, 2nd string, I did this little thing. So I'm playing the 10th fret 2nd string, the 8th fret 1st string. So it'd be 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to slide it up. We're sliding everything up 2 frets, and then back down. Now, what is that? So this will be a takeaway, a little idea for you to use going forward. You can use this anytime you're jamming over a minor chord. So when you're playing a minor chord, in this case we're playing an A minor, I start thinking chord shapes. I always do. And so yes, this would be pattern 2 of the minor pentatonic scale, but this is also an A minor chord. There's 3 minor chord voicings you got to know. I cover those in EP379, so you can go back and check that out. But this is one of those 3. So I know my A minor chords. I know how to find them. And so when I'm playing this, when I can see this chord shape, I just played 2 notes out of that chord, which would be a harmonized third. And then, the takeaway, I'm sorry, the takeaway is when you're playing over a minor chord, you can always slide it up. By up, I mean this direction, towards the body of the guitar. 2 frets, and then back down. It's just the vamp thing, and I don't really know the reason why it works, but it does work. And it works over any of those voicings. So if there's an A minor, you can always slide it up 2 frets and then back. It's a great little fill technique that you can use. There's an A minor there, right? You could do it up here. But no matter where you do it, what A minor you choose, you can always go up 2 frets and back. And you can just, and that's all I was doing there. I wasn't playing the full chord, but it's playing that, 2 notes out of it, the harmonized third. Then as the song goes back to the A minor, I just kept hitting that E note, which is up there on the 12th fret 1st string, sliding into it every time. I don't know why I did this. I could hear that. That's what I was feeling, I guess, when I came up with the part. There's your A minor, and then it goes to the F7. And then what did I do? Did the same technique, but I just came down 1 note. And again, just like I did before, I heard that with my ear. I knew that 7 note, that note. So if you're playing an F7, that is what that note is. So I was already up here hitting the E. And then I can come down 1 and hit that over the F7. Then I go back up to the 12th fret and then slide down to the 10th fret, down to the 8th fret, all on the 1st string. And then watch this. What is that? That's where the song goes to the G, right? So the song switches to the G chord. I was picturing chord shapes like I always do. Where are your G's? You got a G there, you got a G there. You got one up here using the A shape out of Caged. Well, I know at the top part of that A shape, I have a little G triad up there. And that's what I did. I played kind of just a lick out of that. You can think of it that way, or you can just still think of the pentatonic scales. Either way it works. So after the G chord, the song goes to the C chord. So I went, came down to the 9th fret, 3rd string, and then went and played that to get to the C chord. So that's a hammer on between the 7th fret and the 9th fret on the 3rd string, middle fingers on the 8th fret, 2nd string. And I was picturing these two notes in the C major bar chord there. So that's why it sounds so pretty and so accurate, I guess. And that's as far as I want to go in this video. I will back up and we'll play through it one more time with a slow version of the jam track up to that point so you can hear everything in context and practice everything. If you're not a premium member, look into it. It's very affordable. I do lessons like this every week. I've been doing it for 10 years now. And I have lots and lots and lots of them, a whole back catalog. If you're serious about learning how to improvise, this is a really, really good system for that. And it's very affordable. ActiveMelody.com. All right, so let's check out the slow walkthrough here. 1, 2, 3.